Hey guys, so this video is going live in April, and what that means is my Q1 numbers are in, right? And in this video we're going to look at the Q1 results for one of my e-commerce businesses. When I say Q1 results, what I mean is we're going to look at revenue, we're going to look at ad spend, we're going to look at setting, I wouldn't call them strategies, but setting tactics that I tried to work with or work around in Q1, and whether I'm going to scale that or take it to the next level in Q2. Now, this particular video is for two types of people. Either those that are looking to start an e-commerce business and want to find out whether is it profitable, is this a good time to start it in a country like Nigeria, things like that. Or, people that they already have an e-commerce business. Okay, they want to then know, Damini, what's happening under the hood of your own business? How are things looking for you? Are there things I could learn and then take some of the key learnings or key lessons I've learned and put it in your own e-commerce business? That's what this video is for. So let's get started. Now, let's look at January. January was a very interesting month. And the reason why I say January was an interesting month is because the way this particular store is set up, we always have some form of promotion or clearance sale or discount, heavy discounts that we run in January. The reason being is stock that we couldn't clear in Christmas, we typically try to clear a lot of that stock in January, right? And then February, there's Valentine's Day, which is pretty much a slow month for this type of product that we sell in this particular store and things like that. Now, January numbers were actually not bad at all. I think this is probably my best January number since this store started. Online, we did 946,000 naira. Offline, we did 356,000 naira, bringing a total to 1,302. So that's 1.3 million naira. Now, when it comes to the ad spend itself, we only spent 24,800 naira. Ridiculous, right? Yeah. But full transparency, the ads that were running during this period were actually set up by mistake. Well, they weren't set up by mistake, they weren't turned off. So before I closed for the year, I turned off all my heavy hitting ads, because going into the new year, I'd already spent the money I wanted to spend on ads. So it was time to, retreat and, plan, re-strategize. Let me use that word. Now, these ads that we left running were actually for a new product that we launched, and I did not turn them off. So this particular 24,800 actually was spent in the first 9 days of the month, right? And I didn't notice till Meta sent me a receipt, and I'm like, why are people charging me for ads? And then I went back to my ads manager and I turned it off, right? Again, I've told you before, this particular store it's operated by a very lean team, right? We're a team of probably 3, max 4, and the 4th person is kind of contract, and because of that, things like this are bound to happen. So maybe the first key lesson is don't be like Damini. Always monitor your ad spend, right? That's the first key lesson. But yeah, the next thing that worked very well for us in January is this particular store. Like I said, we've been running this for a while. So some of our customers are already aware of what's happening. So some of them start conversations on WhatsApp, knowing fully well that, how far now? You people normally have promo during this period. What's the 411? Those kind of things. And the only way you get to build that sort of relationship with customers is by building a brand. Okay? You build a brand, people begin to expect certain qualities, certain results, certain sort of return on their investment when they have a relationship with you and your business and your brand. Okay, so that's one key thing that has helped us a lot in January. We have a brand, so people expect, there's certain things that people expect from us, and they came back to what's it called now? They came back to come and patronize our store, both online and offline. Okay, that's number 2. Another thing is email marketing, right? Now, email marketing is one of those things where, from an educational standpoint and from a professional standpoint, you want to be sending emails at least 2 to 3 times a week. The challenge is it is easier said than done. And I'm saying this as somebody that has run email marketing campaigns for very big major brands that have made millions and billions of naira to, running my own small business. So, like I said, it's easier said than done, because email marketing is so difficult, guys. You need to make sure it's the right email with the right code, sent to the right type of customers or customer segments, all those amazing things. But it is worth it, right? We sent a few emails, and each email that we sent made us money, right? There are certain reports in the Western world that say that for every email that you spend $1 sending out, you get $42 back. Okay? In Nigeria, it's probably not that profitable, but it's more than at least, I'll probably say 20 naira. So for every 1 naira you spend sending an email out, you probably get at least 20 naira back. That sort of thing. So now let's move on to February. In February, we did 507,000 naira online. We did about 424,750, and we brought our total to 932,250, right? In February, we spent 152.5 on ads, which again is not bad. The ROAS is still looking healthy for us as a business. Now, because I've shown you guys 1.3 million in January, you look at February, you're like, 900,000 naira, blah, blah, blah. The way this business works for us, this is something that we see quite often. Because in February, like, people kind of prioritize other things. So this, we've tried, and I think I've said it on this channel, where in the past, what we used to do was, in February, we would pair ourselves to a similar brand that sells to our target customers. So let's say, for example, buy this shirt. Right, buy this shirt and get a box of donuts, that sort of thing. That's how we used to do it, and it used to work. But right now, I don't know. Women are strange. Women don't shop for their men anymore like they used to, and I might be wrong. Another thing that happened was ad fatigue, right? So we probably have. And this is one of the issues I have in this particular business. We probably have about maybe a rotating 6 creative assets. So it could be, and that 6 creative assets is across a carousel, static post, and video, right? So that in itself is a problem. Even the video, it was a bunch of photos or images brought together to create a video. Okay, that is not good. Right, and we fixed it. So in February, we had ad fatigue issues. A lot of the ads that we were running, Meta started to tell us that, you need to refresh your ads, and that's what we did. Right. So in February, I did my first marketing influencer reach out. So what we typically do in this business is, the whole year, we tend to work with 5 influencers, typically between 3 and 5 influencers, and we take video assets from those influencers and then chop it up and make some videos for ads specifically. So this particular influencer that we worked with, great individual, fantastic return on investment in terms of the creative. No, in terms of value, we'll talk about that, but in terms of the creative, the return on investment was very good because the video asset that he gave us back was very, very strong. And I've worked with this person for 3 years now. And they've always delivered at that level, that top level, which is good for us. Again, this all goes into that conversation of building a brand, building a good relationship, making sure you have a good product as well, obviously, things like that, right? So now, one of the issues we had with this, our influencer asset, or the video that we got back, the video was too long. It was over a minute long. And if when it comes to running ads, you really want to make your video ads, if possible, anything less than 45 seconds. And the reason is because people that are watching your ad, their attention span is not the greatest at the moment. All of us, by the way, not just our consumers. Like, as social media begins to evolve, our attention span and patience for information is dwindling. So now we have ad fatigue issues. This influencer marketing campaign that we ran was supposed to sort that out. It did, in a way. And what I mean by that is, when the asset went live, did we make sales? Yes, we did. Did the sales that we make cover for the cost of the influencer? No, it did not go up for the cost of the influencer. But like I said, the asset is strong enough. And now when you look at your relationship with influencers, this is becoming an influencer video. You know what? If you want a full video just talking about how to negotiate with influencers, how to engage influencers, how to reach out to influencers, how to work with influencers, how to validate their results, things like that, let me know in the comments. Just write influencer marketing, please, and I'll work on a separate video for that. So in March, online we did 936,000 naira. Offline we did 552,900. So above 500,000, and total we did 1.488900. So almost 1.5 million naira in the month of March. Our ad spend was just under 80,000 naira, right? So the ad spend is ridiculously low. The ROAS is very good. Why? You remember that influencer marketing video that I told you we got in February? Yes, we've chopped it up. We've created a very strong asset. We've created some strings of new creatives, and we're now, back to guns blazing. Pew, 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 pew. We've also hit the market in the sense where we've got some new stuff in. We started to, promote some new products, that kind of thing. One thing you need to understand with Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, I think I've noticed it in the Western world as well. I have a video that is coming out talking more about this, but let me just let me segue into that a bit. If you have 1,000 customers, you will never go hungry for the rest of your life. What I mean by this is, if you have 1,000 customers and these customers rotate their buying pattern or purchase pattern with you, you would always have money. Okay, and for them to rotate their buying pattern or rotate their purchasing with you, you need to introduce new products. So what that means is, the people that bought from me last year, they need to find something new to buy from me this year. It doesn't have to necessarily be a new product per se. It could be a new bundle. It could be an additional item. It could be a new packaging. It could be a new offer, but it needs to be something different. Okay, so that's what we did. We have a new product. In this scenario, we had a new product, right? So we had returning customers coming back to say, yo, I like what I saw. Like, I saw your email, because we always try to sell emails. I saw your emails. This is looking dope. Okay, what's the offer for a returning customer? Every returning customer has their own special discount. It's normal. It's basically, you're part of the family, so whenever you come, you expect something in return. There's that, right? The new ads that we had from the influencer marketing asset that we got in February, it was very strong. There are certain things that we did differently. This is something I talk about in my EMBA program, how to create a strong creative asset and use for ads. I talk about that. I talk about how to analyze your ads. If you're interested in that kind of thing and you want to join us, link is in the description. But basically, the ad was doing great. The ad was doing great. Now, the video that we put up with the influencer, because what we did was, and I don't think I mentioned this earlier, it was a collaborator tag, right? So the influencer posted it on their platform, and it was in collaboration with us. We were still getting content. We were still getting, not content. We were still getting people to engage with us. We were getting people to follow the page. We were getting people to buy from that particular, asset that the influencer put up in February. Like I said, it was very good. The money that we made, did it still cover the cost of the influencer fee? No. However, the ad that we got out, okay, obviously, that's why you see such a very strong ROAS from March, right? So these are the things you want to look at when you're working with an influencer. Again, if you want to know more about this, put it in the comments. But when you're working with an influencer, you need to know what exactly you want from that influencer. Don't just go and look at the numbers and be like, this influencer has X number of followers. Okay, let me just get 10% of their followers to purchase from me. It doesn't typically work like that, because not a lot of those influencers actually have that sort of influence. Now let's look at the overall setup for Q1. So online, we did about 2.4 million. Offline, we did about 1.3. So total, we did 3.7. And in terms of ad spend, we did 257,000 naira. So low ad spend, great ROAS. Okay, that's check. Year-on-year growth. So one thing is, last year we did, I think, 1.7 for Q1. Last year was a very strange one. We had some logistic issues. I think we're all trying to get used to the new regime. Let's call it that. But yeah, strong year-on-year growth, which is very, very positive for us. Every email marketing we sent out made us money. Every single email marketing campaign that we sent out made us money. So you watching this now, you already have an e-commerce business. What exactly does your email marketing setup look like? Right? This is something that we look at and we go into in the MBA program. So you can join the community if you're interested. These kind of things, you don't want to do it on your own, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why I've taken my time to build this. So what's happening in Q2? Okay. So Q2, I've already mentioned, we're going to set up new ads. Okay. So we're picking up the pace. So Q2 is when we typically start to pick up the pace. And what I mean by that is, ideally, in previous years, I wouldn't run ads in Q1. Even if I'm running ads in Q1, to be fair, I didn't even run ads because I just spent 250K in the last 3 months. So that's not even a lot of money on ads. But with Q2, we begin to pick up the pace. So that's why you see, like, we start running ads of maybe 500,000 to 7. Q2 is probably 500,000. Yeah, between 300 and 500,000 to run ads. And then we begin to pick up the pace. So for each ad that we run, we have retargeting ads. So as you are seeing this ad, you are seeing another retargeting ad pursue wherever it is that you go. And this is something that I talk about in the EMBA program. AI is here. I think I mentioned that in a recent video where we're going to try a lot of AI advertising and see what happens. So 2 things. We're going to try AI as an asset. So we're going to make some of these creatives and run it as an ad, and we'll see how it performs. And then another one is I want to test an AI influencer. So sometimes you see these AI influencers and you don't even know it's an AI influencer, but then there's sometimes that the thing just looks like shit. So I'm also going to test that out. I'm very interested to see how that comes to play. I need to create more email marketing templates. I need to try and be ahead of the curve, so I might have to bring in somebody to work on a few things for us just to get that out of the way. I want to work with more influencers, more UGC creators, user generated content creators, things like that. But what I've noticed is that in Nigeria, it's such a female dominated niche or industry. Like, I don't get, like, the men that we try to work with, and we work with women, by the way. Like, what we sell is not focused on only men, it's unisex. So it's way easier to get women involved than men, which is crazy, but it is what it is. Now, depending on where you are in your journey, there are certain things that I have learned the hard way, and I strongly suggest that you learn from my mistakes and avoid. So you can watch this video to learn about those things. Or if you want to look at how you can leverage AI. I spoke about this earlier. How you can leverage AI to help your business, then you can watch this video as well.